it's been suggested we carry on the pre-Mincha Halacha shir, which are weekly shir Mishna Brura shir. So thoughts we should try and work on things we're doing in private. One of them is Krias Shema. So we're going to start with Hilchos Krias Shema, which is Siman Nun Chet in the Mishna Brura. Dinei Krias Shema Birchasel. Halacha Aleph. Zaman Krias Shema Shacharis, the earliest time for the time of Krias Shema in the morning. B'sheyira es chaver is the time when you can see a friend. Haragil moikatzas, which you're accustomed to, you're regular with him. We'll see in a minute what that means. Barachoik arba amas, a distance of 4 amas v'yakarenu. From the time that you could recognize somebody, and Mishna Brura explains, talk about anach sanoi. Mishna Brura says the Sif cotton base. Like a visitor, the Osler Prokim becomes an occasional visitor, because the Mishna Brura carries on. Di rogli moi, harbe is somebody you're very friend, a close friend. Then afilu rochik menim, okay, even more than 4 amas you'll recognize him. V'meina rogil klal, if you don't recognize him at all, then afilu korov lagabe, even if he's close to the 4 amas, ein okay, you won't recognize him. And the Mishna Brura carries on. This time, the earliest time of Krias Shema was fixed. Misha Yakir, which is at moments about around 4:28. V'nikva Zaman Zed Krias Shema. This time speaks for Krias Shema. We learned the earliest time for Krias Shema from the word in the pasuk uva kumech, when you get up. And the Mishna Brura says, but people already get up from Amud Shachar, from dawn, so which is earlier. So why don't we say the earliest time of Shema is at dawn? Says the Mishna Brura, v'nikva Zaman Hazeh. This time is fixed for Shema. After mixes anoshim komim mitosam, even though many people get out of their bed mishalam adashacha, they already get out of bed from dawn. Karina bev kumech min Torah, and that is called of kumecha, get up min Torah, lechem diavad yotza, and therefore actually b'diavad, if you would say Shema early, already from dawn, you would be yotza b'diavad. Could I come on Sif Dalet, as we're going to see soon in Sif Dalet. Mikom malkum, nevertheless. Nevertheless, Mogen Avram quotes in the Ramban, quoting the Ramban, Kivan Deruba Dinshi Loikaimi, since the majority of people don't get up that early, they don't get up until Achi Yaka Echad Eskaver, until at least we can see each other, therefore Chazal fixed that time of Misha Yakir. Also, V'oid says Mishra, another reason why this is the time fixed, Misha Yakir, the earliest time of Shema, Mipnei Shekovu Parshat Tzitzis V'Krias Shema, is because also as part of Krias Shema we read the Parsha of Tzitzis. The Ksivan is written in Parsha of Tzitzis, Rithem Oisai, you should look upon them. Therefore, the Chama fixed the time of Krias Shema, Mishyake Ben Teches Lovan. The time that's the same time when you can see your friend, is exactly the same time, which is the distinction between Techeles, turquoise blue, and white. Whereas Man, that's the same time. Mishake is Chaver, Brura Chabura is the same time as you can see a friend. So, because you can read your tzitzis, then with fixed time, you can actually see the time by looking at tzitzis, seeing the techeles and the Lovan at Hashem. We should have the techeles soon. And then the Shulchan Aruch carries on back in the Shulchan Aruch. The time of Krias Shema is, we said, from Misha Yakir. You can recognize a somebody who from 4 amas. The Nimshach Zman. Now, how long does the time carry on? For Soif Shalosh Shos, that is the time of Krias Shema carries on to the end of 3 halachic hours. Shuruvia Hayom, which is a quarter of the day. And by the way, when we talk about here, there's the time of Krias Shema. The Mishna Brura says in Sif Kon Aleph, it's not only time of Krias Shema, it actually includes the brachas as well. It includes the brachas before Shema. Mishna Brura says, Brachas Krias Shema lefnei gam ke'ein lo mikodem hazman zeh. You shouldn't say the brachas too early, and the brachas Krias Shema are also connected here. And the Mishna Brura says in Sif Kon Gimel that the time continues until Sholosh Shos, at Sof Sholosh Shos, the end of 3 days. Lechatz Chila, very important Mishna Brura here. Lechatz Chila oslis achad oisez man. A person, it's also for him to delay until the time, just because the time of Sof Shema Krias Shema, which we'll discuss in a minute. It's still the Chatchila Osa to wait that time. The reason why it's until that time, says the Mishna Brura Sif Kon Dalet, 3 hours, Shekain Derech B'nei Malach Lamados, because that's where princes wake up at that time. And all of B'nei Yisrael are called princes. But B'nei Malach and Vahochi, and that is still called Uvkamecha, even though it's such a late time as 3 hours of the day. Now, what time do we count that from? When do we start counting? Where do we calculate these hours. But it says Mishna Brura, we start counting them from Amad HaShachar, dawn. And it carries King Kosov Magen Avram, that's the Magen Avram's time. He calculates it from Amad HaShachar, he add up the hours from Amad HaShachar, from dawn, all the way until Seis, until nightfall. You add up all those minutes divided by 12. However, the Das Agro, the Vilna Gaon, and the Balatanya, and Shulchan Acharav, the Graz agrees with this, Mishas and Tzachama, that you start calculating days from later, from the time of Nates, of sunrise. And says the Mishna Brura, anyway, lechatchila enough kaminas doesn't make a difference whether how you calculate it according to the Gra or according to the Magen Avram, to Balavachi Osilache, because as we said, lechatchila is also to delay, as we already said, and see if gotten Gimel, one shouldn't delay Krias Shema. So it doesn't mean the question is only a b'di'evet. And then the Mishna Brura carries on over here. Now, just on this point about Neit Zachama, the Mishna Brura question is, how to paskin? Should we follow the earlier time? Magen Avram, just get an idea now. We've got the Mishnah, the Magen Avram tomorrow is 8. Latest time Shema is 8:16. Whereas going to the Vilna Gaon, and it's going to be 9:18. All right, so those two times. So we're talking about here. Now, what's the halacha? It's interesting. The Be'er halacha, he doesn't actually say which one we should go like. He just says l'chatchila is no difference. He's not machriya, doesn't clarify. However, it just says that if you think you're going to miss the Zman of Krias Shema, the Be'er halacha writes earlier that if you think you're going to miss Krias Shema of the Magen Avram, but you're going to make the Vilna Gaon, then when you say Shema earlier in Psukei de Zimra, right at the beginning of davening by the Korbanos, then you should have in mind to be Yotze, then your Krias Shema, and that way you'll be okay. Many poskim, most poskim seem to say the minhag is to follow that of the Gaon. The Igros Moshe, Rav Moshe Feinstein's Shuvas, he writes that in many places that the minhag is like Mishna Brura holds like that, and he holds many Rishonim hold like that. He also brings another Sfora. The Gra is a Basra, which in Psak Halacha. You always go after the later generation, and therefore, since the Vilna Gaon came after Magen Avram, the minute everybody is muskim, and the halacha should be like him, and also one of the greatest poskim as well, the Graz, the Shulchan Acharav, but and it also holds like that, and therefore he said that's the minhag in most places is to follow this opinion, and if Yechidim, individuals want to be machmir on themselves, then like the Magen Avram, then they're welcome to. In fact, even the Chazon Ish writes that majority of people follow the Gaon, and that's where in many places that he would himself rely on that. Reb Chaim Kanievsky also holds this as well. Of course, there are practically there were of course the great Gedolim like the Stipler. He was machmir. He said it's Sofik Deraisa, so Deraisa Chumra, and therefore and Rabbi Aaron Kotler as well. He held that Rabbi Moshe Sternbuch. They hold that the Netziv, that they say since Sofik Deraisa Chumra Krias Shema is Deraisa, one should follow the Magen Avram. But again, that as we said was for Yechidim who want to do that. However, according to the Sfardim, the Rabbi Tzion Abba Shaul in Or Tzion, he says they always follow the Magen Avram, and that's how the Chidos paskins, and that seems to be the straightforward explanation of the Sfardim from the Shulchan Aruch, that they calculate from Alois Shachar like the Magen Avraham. Let's carry on. So now the Mishna Brura carries on in Sif Cotton Hay. The Mishna Brura says on the Shehu Revia Yom, so you can say Krias Shema until quarter of the day, and he says that doesn't make a difference whether it's the summer, ve'ein chilik bein yomos hakayit shayom orach, whether the day's long, ve'ein yomos hachorif, or whether it's the winter when the days hayom kotzer, the day is short. We're always chashvina hayom l'shteim esrei shos. We always calculate the day according with 12 hours. Always it's going to be the time of Krias Shema is a quarter of the day, and he says therefore a person should be careful in the winter to read Krias Shema because the day is short. However, that's quoting the Taz. However, it says the Mishna Brura, but emes in truth b'mei kites, also in the summer a person needs to be sorry zert, a person needs to be very careful because people generally get up at the same time, and before you know it, because the man is Krias Shema is gone past. and therefore just if the day's longer, then you calculate the day earlier, then Krias Shema can actually be earlier. And now, as we said, the Mishna Brura concludes this, one also needs to finish Krias Shema in the time. So not just start, you actually finish the Zman in its time, in the proper time. That's the Prima Godim. On that point, how much is considered the Shema that you have to finish within the Zman? So the Ramah says it's the first pasuk and Baruch Shein Kavod Machusai, and Mishna Brura says that that it's necessary to finish at least the first paragraph of the Shema within the Zman Krias Shema. Of course, the Pri Chodesh says it's Yoser Toiv. The best thing is to make sure you read all 3 paragraphs of the Shema in order to remember Zeiches Yis Mitzrayim within the Zman Krias Shema as well. And the Chaya Odom agrees with this psak, and that's definitely the Chatchila. Then Mishna Brura carries on that people who are waiting, they don't want to daven because they haven't got access to tefillin or talis, and they want to delay Krias Shema and davening, etc. So he says they're making a mistake, and there's no problem at all. Better to say Krias Shema in the right time, as Krias Shema is not makif tefillin. If you don't have tefillin, you still yotze Krias Shema. Although the Gemara says the Cholakora Krias Shema b'lo tefillin ki'ilu made sheker ba'atzmoi. Someone reads Krias Shema, that tefillin is given false edus. He's like he's testifying because he's saying you should put a tight voice being nech and he's not wearing it. That is somebody does it b'mezit. Then he talks about another concept, says the Mishna Brura towards the end of Sif Kon Hey. V'yesh anoshem, there's some people that they want to delay the Zman of Krias Shema because of Tefillah B'Tzibur. Say, I'll wait till I daven in shul. And he says, V'gam zesh loikadino, it's not correct, this is not like the Halacha. At least he says, Al-Kaponi, Yisrael Likros Krias Shema, B'Zman HaKodim Tefillah, L'chavim L'seis B'zeh. A person should be careful to Krias Shema in its time before Tefillah, before davening, and have kavan to be yotze with that, as we've said in the end of Siman Mem Vov. See there. And then he says as follows, even those people, he says, what about people, these minyanim that start late? Again, you've got the old people, or people who are like the elderly. It's interesting. Our experience is the older people like to get up early, but those times it seems to be the old people wanted to come to shul later. Now it's the other way around. A person should not delay his Krias Shema for the minyan, for the people who want to come late, and otherwise he have to daven because otherwise daven as a by himself. Who don't tell the person you sin and do another mission on Krias Shema and say Krias Shema with everyone else. On the contrary, you should say Shema first. And Shabbos and Yom Tov, he says on Shabbos and Yom Tov, when davening starts later, it's very easy to miss the Krias Shema. Therefore, minyan is palakodim. Therefore, a chacham, someone is a wise person who has eyes in his head, he should make sure to gather a minyan together to daven earlier. Or if he's davening later minyan, he should say Krias Shema early in its time before everybody starts to daven with the tzibur. And then the Mishna Brura says the next thing is when the best time is, which we'll leave that Be'ezras Hashem for next time. And I hope it helps. Focus on Krias Shema and Tefillah B'Tzibur. It's Hashem by learning about davening in shul and learning about these inyanim. It's Hashem we should get back to shul as soon as possible. And also to help us to be machazek ourselves to make sure we're doing these mitzvahs in private, especially to Krias Shema, which is the Raisa. Have a good day.